As a climber, I often get asked how we get down from climbs. Now, if I'm in the gym or outside on a single pitch crag, I'm most likely just to get lowered off of the climb. But there are instances such as when I'm multi-pitch climbing or setting up a top rope from up above that rappelling is necessary. Hello, welcome to my channel. I am Travis. I am an AMGA certified rock and alpine guide. And today, we're gonna go over the very basics of how to set up a rappel. If you haven't seen my video on the best practices of rappelling, I suggest you check it out right here or in the link in the description below. Let's go rappelling. I am now at the top of my climb and I am ready to go down. As you can see, I am tied into the end of my rope, but I need to get my rope off of me through those chains and get my end back down to where I need to rappel to. The one thing you gotta make sure whenever you're doing this transition is make sure that you are connected to the anchor via something like my tether here, and that we don't drop this rope. One of my favorite ways to keep from dropping the rope while I'm doing this transition is to pull up a few extra feet of rope. I then like to tie a clove hitch or a bite knot, and I'll just clip it to a carabiner on my harness or on the anchor. I then can untie my knot knowing that I can't lose my rope. Then I'm going to take the end of my rope, I'm going to go through my chains, and as soon as I go through there, I want to make sure to close that system by tying a knot in the end. Once I have done that, I can release that attachment, and I'm going to pull that rope through the chains until the end of my rope is either confirmed at the bottom or my middle mark is at the chains. I recommend having a good solid middle mark at the middle of your rope. Over time, they can fade, and you can refresh them with a rope marker, or even better yet, a bi-pattern rope will never fade. So I will get my middle mark at my chains. Now I need to connect myself via my rappel device to this rope. First thing I'm gonna make sure that my rappel device is attached to my extension, and I'm gonna leave it clipped in. Then I'm gonna pull up a little bit of rope on each strand. I'm going to make a bite on each strand of the rope. I'm going to place both strands into my belay device, and here I will unclip the carabiner momentarily, and I'll clip it back through both strands of the rope and this little keeper cable. Then I can lock my carabiner to attach myself to that rope. Now, we also like to use backups when rappelling. My favorite backup is the Autoblock friction hitch. It is easy to tie and doesn't grab the rope too much when loaded. Today I'm going to be using the 30 centimeter BL Jammy as my backup. So I have it on a locking carabiner. I will then clip that to my belay loop. I have the bar tack near that carabiner, and I will then grab the rope and I'm going to wrap the friction hitch around the rope 3 times, like so, and clip it back into that carabiner. I can then lock the carabiner. And then I'll check to make sure that it's grabbing. One bonus tip is that if I'm doing a double rope rappel where the rope's really heavy and I'm worried about them coming back out of my belay device while I'm setting that up, I can use my auto block, tie it first, and pull up a little bit of slack in the ropes, and it will hold it while I'm setting up my belay device. One of the most important things to do before transitioning fully to our new system is to double check. I like to start at the top and work my way down. So here I just confirmed that I am through the rings and my middle mark is at the rings. I then come down my rope. Both strands of rope are through my belay device and my carabiner is through both ropes, and the carabiner is locked. I then move down to my backup. My backup, it is grabbing and that carabiner is locked. Now that I have double checked, I'm ready to take my tether off of my old system or my anchor, and I like to place that on my belay loop. I can then grab my anchor and I'm ready to rappel down. Now during the double check, this is a great time if you have a partner with you to do a pre-rigged rappel. That allows multiple sets of eyes to check everyone's equipment before going down. Now with rappelling, we do have certain body positions that are going to work a lot better to help us smoothly go down the rock. So that position, especially once I am in more vertical terrain, will look something like this. My feet are flat on the rock, shoulders back, all the weight is on my harness. Now, many people complain about their backups causing them to have a really jerky rappel. One of the things that you can do is I like to keep one hand on the backup, the other hand between it and the belay device. So what I will do is I have my right hand on my backup, and I can slide that down the rope, and my other hand is just kind of controlling the rope that feeds the belay device. And I will sometimes do a motion where I am separating my hands and then pulling them together. Now, once you get to the ground or your next anchor, you want to make sure you can get good footing or are secured into your next anchor. And once you're set, either on the ground or the anchor, feed in some slack to your belay device, and then you can take the ropes out of the device. I will caution you, this device and the carabiner will be very hot. So this is a great time to be wearing gloves or take a little bit of care when taking it off. One way I like to take it off when I know my belay device is hot, I'll grab all the rope up above the belay device, like so, unlock the carabiner, take the carabiner out of the ropes, clip it back into just the keeper cable, and pull it out, and then store it on my side. That'll keep me from burning my hands on the hot metal. So these are the basics of how to set up a rappel and move down the mountain. If you haven't checked out the other videos in my rappel series, I suggest doing that to learn even more about best practices and some uncommon instances when rappelling. If you're looking for personalized instruction or guiding, whether that's rappelling, leading, or anything involved with climbing, check out my website down in the description below, and hope you all have a safe and fun time out there on the rocks. One of the most important things to do, which camera do I want? This is what I get for choosing a crag near the road. Probably couldn't have done anything about the helicopters. I was not recording that last bit, and it was amazing.